Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us and welcome to this edition of Shagalinku TV. My name, as always, is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and thank you all for joining us. And thanks to everyone who will also join later on in the program and those whose time zones are far different from ours we usually join after the show. So today's episode is streaming in three destinations: on Shagalinku TV YouTube page, on Shagalinku YouTube, Facebook page, and then on my personal page, Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. So we're looking at post-COVID, what has happened, how has the economy of countries fared. I know Africa was worse hit because it was like a standstill for a long period of time. So many industries were also affected: the entertainment industry, the banking industry, the educational sector, food businesses, and all of that. Everyone was at home that period. And that's why we're looking at how people have fared so far. This is 2023. How are people recovering, and how are countries also recovering post COVID? And I have, as usual, a delectable guest. She's always been here for us. Just a couple of days back, we were checking the flyers and we realized that we first had her on the show in 2021. And I just like how time has fly, Doctor. I didn't know we've been on this show that long, for 2 years. And thank you so much for always being supportive to us. Okay, so I have Dr. Nina Ritchie all the way from the United Kingdom. She'll be talking to us more about some of these things, how the economy is improving or declining, and what women can also do. Particularly, we're celebrating women today, what women can also do to mitigate, just in case we wake up one morning again and God forbid, something has to keep everyone at home. People can then plan for all of that. Once again, welcome to the show. You can drop your comments to our guest in the comment section, and then we'll read it all out. But now, let me bring in my guest, and then later on in the show, I will also bring in my other guest from Abuja to talk with us. But for now, let me bring in Dr. Nina. I'd like you to also tell us a bit more about who Dr. Nina. You don't need introduction on Shagalinko, but we always constantly get new viewers. So who is Dr. Nina Ritchie? And tell us more about yourself.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here again. Um, Obviously, as you know, I'm more into women empowerment, youth empowerment, film producer as well as philanthropist. I do a lot of charity work, and a business I do on the side as well. So this is me. But I love to empower women, youth, as well as see the economy was out and support our country. Actually, um, we all have to get together and support the country for its economy to grow. So this is who I am. Wherever there's a help needed, Nina Ritchie is there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. I'll quickly just let Ms. Blessing introduce herself, and then we'll come back to you, Dr. Nina, and to talk more. So, Blessing, if you can hear me, I'd like you to just quickly let us know what you do, who is Blessing, and then I'll come back maybe in 10 minutes' time to ask you if you have questions for Dr. Nina. Blessing, are you still there?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, please go on.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blessing Wanima Yakubu. I am an activist, and at the same time, I still work with MTN Momo Nigeria. So, what we try to do in my space is try to bring in the youth and empower the women as well. So, more of the people I work with are women and youth. So, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, a blessing. So I'll bring you back in a few minutes' time, and then we talk. So let me come back to you, Dr. Nina. Let me go a bit personal before I ask you about the economy. How was it like for you during the COVID-19 lockdown, particularly? You are lucky you are also in the entertainment space, so maybe you had that opportunity to also do a few content creations and all of that. But basically, how was it like for you during the COVID 19 pandemic?
has impacted not just me as a woman, but it's impacted the whole economy, everyone internationally. But for myself and all the media, as you know, we are in the entertainment company, so it does affect. Media affects more than the food industry would, because everything's locked down. You can't go out, you can't do certain things, you can't create your own contents, you can't go closer to anyone. So it has impacted. The only thing that didn't impact is the food industry. But I think the other platforms that has affected, especially the media one. Media has affected a lot in media world.
Yeah. So let me even digress a little before I even come and ask you about the impact on the economy. You are spiritual. You've always said that publicly. Were there inclinations? Were people a bit aware that it may not be in quote COVID, but were there spiritual connotations from people that something might just come up to keep everyone locked indoors? Because many of us didn't see this coming. Boom, COVID happened, and then the world became a global village where everybody was kept indoors. Did you see it coming? Did you have revelations, but you weren't too sure what it was or what God was revealing to you?
Well, as you know, I'm a prophetic, I'm a healer. I was born with the gift that God has blessed me with. So I have predicted a lot of prophecies, but there are a lot of prophecies that I don't post or I don't tell people. But yes, COVID was, I knew there was something coming, but didn't realize it was a COVID that was going to impact in this way. But in a way, COVID has a positive impact on human life, as well as the negative, because COVID actually brought people together. COVID actually brought people together, closer to God, because they were all praying, people were supporting each other, communities came together. And this is my personal thing. I can't cook. I had the only way I could eat in COVID was to learn from YouTube channels. So that was a really great impact for me, that I've learned a lot from that. So for me, it was, the COVID did bring people closer to God, because they were all praying all the time for the betterment and for the COVID, as well as the helping each other, because that really came when all the community, even though many people may have different issues or different impact, but something like that when it happens in our country or anywhere in the nation, people just forget about their issues and they all come together and support one another. All the humanity comes together, which is absolutely brilliant, which is COVID has taught us that humanity is still here, you know, and we are all together. Although everybody has a differences and different views and different impacts, but COVID has brought all the communities together, put the governments together to help government as well to improve economy as well. So that has improved a lot, actually. COVID had a great impact.
Good one then. Thank you for that. So can we look at how it affected the economy? Because like you said, a lot of people were at home. Some people will say it's a mixed blessing. Some people had their losses, some people had their gains, even during that period. And like you observed as well, and rightly too, the food industry never lacked. In fact, they were, at their boom season and all of that, because everyone had to eat, whether we liked it or not.
Of course.
So the banks were closed, offices were closed, but our tummies were not closed.
Exactly. That's what happened.
So how was the economy for you, maybe in your country? And then we can also ask Blessing to tell us how it was like in Nigeria during the pandemic. So Dr. Nina, how was it like for you in the UK? Or did you get stuck others in transit to your country?
Well, there was, obviously, it's not just my country, United Kingdom. I think it was worldwide that people couldn't enter the other country or travel because there was an echo. So the airlines suffered, airports suffered, as you know. But as to estimated for the United Kingdom as economy recession, first third quarter, actually between 22 to 23, 1.9% during that period, and GDP estimated to growth have actually declined. We went from 0.1% in November 2022. Now service grew from 0.2% in November 2022, that after the increase of it was 0.7% in October 2022. So the largest contribution came to administrative support activities, which grew by 2% in November 2022 as well. So the yes, economy is did grow, but it declined a little bit, but it started growing again. So yeah, those are the figures that between 2022 and 23.
Okay, so as we look at the figures and the economy, what would be your views concerning the health status of people? Because there were a whole lot of controversies, both on international media. Some said it wasn't existing. Some said it's just a way to create chaos. Some countries or some states, also felt that there wasn't anything like that. Some countries also made it mandatory for vaccination. There were a whole lot of propaganda and a whole lot of conspiracy theories. For you and some of the things you observed, what was your stand during that period?
See, when something like this happens, I don't go or I don't predict or I don't say that, oh, yes, it's just conspiracy theory or anything. And I'm sure there was a lot of research done. The doctors, it had a lot of impact on our National Health Service as well, doctors, nurses. And yes, people were dying of that. And when it came to vaccinations, I myself openly going to say that I didn't take vaccination because I just couldn't take it for health issues. But other people did take a vaccination. So it's everybody's choices, to take vaccination or not to take vaccination. I am not an expert in medical, so I can't really give the answer to that. But yes, there were a lot of mixed issues about taking vaccines and not to take vaccines. So everyone has their own choices. We all have choices. So my impact on those, whether COVID existed, yes, it did. But whether it was COVID, I don't know. They named it COVID, but for me, it was like a flu, really bad flu. Because that's how I felt, because I know I had it. But I didn't know it was a COVID. But the symptoms was like a really bad flu, So for me, it was just a flu. So on that issue, I can't really predict.
So that brings me to my next question before I come to Blessing immediately. How were you able to stay and not get pressured to take the vaccine? Because a lot of people also didn't want to take, but there were pressures from all angles. Some countries insisted that if you weren't fully vaccinated, you couldn't come into their country. That was even when the lockdown had been eased off a little. Some companies even insisted that it was a mandatory vaccination for you to come back to work. So how were you able to pull through that pressure and not take the vaccine?
See, mine, it was just because of a medical issue. I couldn't take it. And I discussed it at great length with the doctor and nurses, and they agreed with my opinion. Obviously, because of certain issues I had for that reason. But everybody else was sort of, I'm sure a lot of people did take vaccines. A lot of my colleagues did take vaccines because they didn't have any medical issues. So they took that. But I live in a country, is an amazing country, Great Britain. Although every country has their own issues. I mean, apart from the weather, everybody has issues in economy and all the other places with the government and everything. But the Great Britain is one of the world's best country. And we have our choices, which we are very lucky to be in this country as well. So we weren't forced or impacted the way that China did. So for that reason, I think a lot of people were in Great Britain. We weren't forced to do what we couldn't, we didn't want to do. So for that, so I can't sort of say about another country, but what I saw in the social media, other countries, just like China, where they were forced, and they were, which is wrong, because we as a human have choices, whether we could take it or not take it. And our country, Great Britain, gave us a choice, which we are very lucky to be here. that we get choices. So for that, that's all I can say on that. I can't say enough about Great Britain. Our government is great. Sometimes, sometimes they make choices that affects economy. Sometimes they make choices, but we are human, So we as a human do make error, but they fix it. They fix it. They do listen to us. The government does listen to us, which we are very lucky for that. So yeah, but I was quite disappointed with China, the way they treated their people. They couldn't come. They were confined. But look at the way India treated. India was great. They really, if you look at the way India is a big country, how many millions of people, but they controlled it. They really controlled COVID.
Yeah, okay. I got a message here from the Philippines. It's from Karim J.A. Jackson, just to say he's watching. And I'll come back to you, Dr. Nina, to ask you what's your view on how women were hit. But let me come to Blessing to tell us a little more about Nigeria and how it's hit. How did you feel, Blessing, when the COVID pandemic came? How was it like for you? How did you survive? Because at the end of it all, when the lockdown was eased, a lot of people kept saying happy survival and all of that. So tell us more, Blessing, how it went for you.
At first, it came as nobody was expecting it. So when it happened, man, a lot of panic here and there. My work has to do with field work, going out every day, myself and my canvassers. But at some point, we're halted. Nobody could go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. We don't know how long it's going to take. So it was a total breakdown for a lot of people. And I could remember there was a time I had to leave my station of work back to my base, and it wasn't funny. I have to stop at some places that there was a checkpoint that you can't pass through. I had to call other people to come take me out from there back to my place. So it wasn't really funny here in Nigeria the way they took it, because at some point everywhere was just hot for us to bear. But thank God, the whole thing came, and we pulled through. We actually did. I had to focus my energy on sensitization, flagging off campaign on how to cope COVID-19, the whole washing of hands, staying safe, and so on. So it was something else. It was a time for us to reflect and learn to live with one another despite the challenges that came then. So that was it for us down here in Nigeria. It wasn't just
Okay.
something that was easy then, though. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, based on your field work before COVID and after COVID, what were some of the lessons you think people should learn, particularly women, on what to do? Because when they talk about women empowerment, and you tell a lot of women who felt their husbands are not letting them go out to eke a living, and when you tell them that they can actually do something from the home front, there are businesses they can do, no matter how little it is, that they can do from their home front. Maybe they felt people are discouraging them. But, COVID brought about that realization that people need to start thinking of how they can work from home. So before COVID and after COVID, especially with your interaction with young people and women, what are the lessons you think women should begin to learn differently to build resources and economy around their home front, so that in case any other thing happens, they'll be able to merge the home? Because the truth is, women became caregivers to their husbands, to children. They didn't need to be nurses, What do you think?
Yeah, initially when we tell women to come and work, that's before COVID. They keep giving excuses here and there, keep saying this and that. But after COVID, I find myself having tones of them coming forth, both their husbands, permitting them to come, learn our work, since at some point you could actually do this work at home. So it has actually, I think a lot of people have come to understand that it's not just you sitting down in one place and expecting manna to fall from above. You have to get up. That's not minding your sex or something. So everybody is learning to now accommodate women and also allow the women to go up front to get something doing. So I've had great turnout. Today, I think I have lots of women and youth coming into to the MTN Momo space. Others keep calling me if there are anything forthcoming. They are available. They could travel. They could do this and that, and it's really a good one. So it has helped me to also learn to give them all the trainings they need and teach them best ways to curb the, like, they don't really know the job flow and how it goes, but with the little trainings and so on, I'm glad that they are picking up and it's going well for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. I'll come back to you again shortly in case you have any question for Dr. Nina. But let me come back to Dr. Nina. A lot of times when issues happen, people don't also remember to factor in people with disabilities. I've always said that women suffer marginalization, and then it's almost 10 times more for women with disabilities. So, Dr. Nina, what do you think we can begin to do differently to integrate women with disabilities in programming, knowing that these are people with special needs and they have to be catered for? What's your view about that, and how do you think we can do that for women moving forward?
With the disability, I think they need to be trained more. So when people, whether it's man or a woman, make sure the training is there. And for me, would be a lot of compassion. You got to have patience and compassion, especially with disabled people. And you got to have a strength because you got to pick them up and take them to bath, or you got to cook food for them as well. And disabled people are also suffering, so they do get irritated. So you got to have a compassion towards that, and listen to them what their needs are. So they need to be trained, whoever it is, whether it's a man or a woman in disability, and they need to integrate more disabled people with the ordinary people, so they feel that they're not disabled and they are part of the team, where they can, so they don't feel left out, that there's some just because they're disabled, they don't need to be part of the integration of normal people. On that sense that they need more training, and they need to sort of come together and not treat them as disabled people, that there's something wrong with them. No.
Yeah. So I'll come back again to you. I'll just ask you this, and then I'll let Blessing ask you any questions she has. What should people do about their mental health? Worldwide, people have gone through a whole lot. Before the COVID hit, people were struggling with finances. People were struggling with workplaces. Even before the COVID pandemic affecting economy, there were losses of jobs. People were being sacked from their offices. Industrialization was both a blessing and a curse, because it was displacing some people who are not skilled and then empowering those who are skilled. So it was a potpourri of different things. What would you advise people when it comes to taking care of their mental health? Because sometimes people just feel, oh, I'm strong, I'm a strong person, I don't need to assess my mental health. Or people go through a whole lot and they say, that's thumbs up, that's why you're a strong woman, you do this, and then people fall down and they die. So what would you advise when it comes to people checking their mental health often?
See, with the mental health issues and depression, obviously I'm the victim of the depression, and because of the thing what I've gone through in the economy, lost, as you know, that was defrauded, so that did affect me. But obviously with that, my doctor sort of supported me a lot on that, and I meditated a lot, and prayed in meditation. That's what I believed in. But you have to sort of take care of yourself. We as a women, we put things together on the back burner. saying we are really strong, we're strong women, but we need rest as a woman as well. And this goes to not just for women, but goes to for men as well as children, as well as the youth, because we all are suffering from mental health issue one way or the other. But when the exhaustion comes, that you put in a back burner, that you know that you need help, you know that's it. So you need to sort of take time out and just relax, meditate, and go to the gym, and look after your health. Eat healthy, make smoothies, and eat healthy. And that's what helped me a lot, actually, with the mental health issue. Everybody suffers with mental health issues one way or the other.
Yeah, but another thing is you are privileged, so to say, to be someone who's outspoken. Mental health around this part of the world, and even the world generally, people still have a few stigma surrounding it. So how do we build the confidence of people to seek help? Just as when we talk to survivors of gender-based violence, that will say, speak up, because that's the only way help will come. So how do we also begin to empower people to know that, look, when you get to your limits, stop believing that you're a strong woman or you're a strong man, look for medical help, for assessment and all of that. Because everyone might not be as privileged or lucky as you are, or enlightened as you are, to know that, okay, there must be something wrong with me. Let me go even see the doctor. And then they were supportive. What about those who are not privileged enough to know that this is a hint or a red flag when it comes to their mental health? What do you have to say, Dr. Nina?
See, for me, I didn't know I had a mental health myself, because I was so tired battling, for loss of my business. And I was exhausted, and I was still working, still trying to do things. And my doctor said, look, Miss Ritchie, you need to calm down a little bit. You need to, money's not everything. Your health is important. But I said, look, I'm a self-made, and I work on my own. So there is not that I have a family who's going to provide for me, or I have a husband who's going to provide for me. I was a sole provider, so I had to do what I had to do. But he said, no, take time out. You need to sort of relax a little bit. So that affected me. But a lot of, when it comes to mental health in India, Africa, places like that, a lot of people don't realize that it's a mental health issue. They think mental health is that you're crazy, you're mentally sick, but you're not. They put you their stigma that you're a mentally sick person. You don't know what you're doing. But mental health is not that you're mentally sick. It's that your body is exhausted from just working 24/7. So that and it's just that they put the every whether you're exhausted or whether you're low in your energy, they put it as a mental health issue. So they need to, the medical institutions, they need to impact and put different people in a different places. Not everybody is mentally sick, as in the psychopaths, that's why everybody says, oh, it's mental health issue. No, it's not a mental health issue, because everybody needs got a different source of health issues, whether it's a depression or whether it's somebody's really gone crazy, and they're on drugs or something like that. That's a different. But somebody who is exhausted physically and mentally because you've done everything you possibly can, I don't think that should be put as a mental health issue. That should be put in as a separate category, because a person's body is exhausted. They need to relax. They need to rest a bit. So that's my point of view, but medical experts would probably say something else.
Okay, so let me bring in Blessing in case she has a question or two for you. Blessing, what do you have for Dr. Nina? Is there a question you'd like to ask her so she could respond?
Definitely. I can't go quietly, you know that. So I would like to learn one or two, but this is my question now. What can we do differently to support the youth and women in our society? Because no matter what we do, it still feels not enough. And at some points, we get, should I say, we get discouraged by people, or even getting support from people. It's even hard these days. So what can we do differently, especially now that, thank God, COVID is gone, and the economy is coming up, and we need to just get involved one way or the other. So, doctor, a little advice from you will go a long way. Thank you.
You're welcome. See, there is a saying: we can take a horse to the water, but we can't make it drink. And I obviously, as we support women and youth, we find it many youth and many women don't want that support, no matter how much impact or no matter how much time we give to a person or teach them the way of living or way of making money. Some people just won't listen. We can try. So we can try as possible. Just be positive and keep on trying until raise your voice. Donate more money to women and give them events, bring events, and there are and volunteer. Start volunteering, letting other women come to you and ask them questions. What is it they want? Women are not just for the working in the house. They can also make something for themselves from home. They can, as I said, in COVID, a lot of women were making face masks and selling it, and they were making money out of it. So things like that, women always have an inspiration. They can always, even more than men, I'm not putting men down, but women will say, okay, what can I do to make money while under COVID? And they started sewing, so they can sew and sell things. So for that reason, don't bring yourself down or disheartened because one or two women don't listen to you. Keep on going. Have that. You have a compassion. You have the way you said with the youth as well, and we have to keep on going step by step, and keep on improving their lives. Many women will have older generation. They will not come because they've got ways of living and thinking. But the new generation is best to new youth women and young men. I say, I think they need more inspiration. They need more compassion. And a lot of people, what I've seen is, especially with women, they have jealousy against other women. Stop that. You must not have jealousy against women. All women should come together and raise each other's voices and support each other rather than bringing them down. Because what I have been observing for a while now is many women are rising up, but the other women don't like that, But when women come together, it gives a great impact. So we as a women, and many women are their own enemies, to be honest. That's the advice I can give you. But keep on going. You're going to get disheartened. I've had a lot of jealousy, envy, hatred, but I just put it in the back burner. I just don't think of that. I would have blinkers on. I said, this is my mission. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care what people say about me, because it's God who judges me, not people. So keep on going. You're doing a great job. And it was an honor to be speaking to you today and listening to your work, what you do. Keep on going. Don't get disheartened. And if you ever need any support or if you need any advice, please do contact me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This means a lot. God bless you.
Yeah. So, Blessing, I'd also like to ask this based on what Dr. Nina has just said, that she noticed that there's a whole lot of envy and jealousy amongst women, Have you had instances like that? Have you been able to surmount them? Because it's true, no matter how we want to pet it, I hear a lot of slogans, women supporting women. But the truth is, when the chips are down, we always see that victimization, jealousy, bad blood coming up amongst women. What do you think can be done differently? Blessing, have you been a victim? Just so Dr. Nina could maybe hear one or two of your stories, and then she could give advice on what you can do differently.
Thank you so much. I have been a victim, and it still is, because on daily basis, the moment you step out and they see a photo of you in a place that you're doing something, they get angry that you didn't include them or something. And at the end of the day, you would have sent out invitations for that particular program. So this is what I've been doing. Whenever such comes up, or I see, so or I hear some stories about me flying around, I shut my ears, go back to my room. I'm mostly this person that whenever I'm depressed or down, I listen to music. So I just play something and just get my mind off it and tell myself that I can do better, that I don't need to stay back and let whatever they say or do get to me. So I've been the one cheering myself, and whenever it gets out of hand, I reach out to one or two persons and just ease it off my chest, and it has helped me so far. And truth be told, I'm not ready to stop. I'm not ready to stop. I'll still keep on going, because there's there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I must reach that light by the grace of God. So that has been my inspiration so far.
Okay, Dr. Nina, someone just sent a message now, and I'd like you to respond to this. This is from Madam Rodkang Koini. She said, meaning of mental health succinctly put by doctor. She's applauding how you talked about mental health issues and how people need to do all of that. Dr. Nina, do you have any response for our viewer? She's, by the way, sending this from Nigeria to you. So she's viewing us from Nigeria. Dr. Nina, any words?
She's going through a mental health issues.
No, she just said that she's applauding that you described mental health very well, and that you gave good description how people need to take the mental health seriously, particularly women, where you said people should not be feeling like, women shouldn't be feeling like they're too strong, or men feeling too strong and not looking out for their health. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, thank you so much for listening to this program. As I said, mental health issue everyone has, not just the women, and women tend to be stronger when it comes to that, because they've got children to look after, they've got a household to look after, and as well as a husband, men to look after. So they put it in a back burner. But women do get exhausted mentally and physically. But do meditation, do prayers, and go to the gym, because when you go to the gym or go for a walk, that really relaxes your brain, and eat healthy. And that obviously the food really impacts your mental health issue as well. So it's the food, gym, working out, eating healthy, meditating, prayers, and that really, really supported me. That's exactly what supports everybody else, actually. Some in good way, some in bad way. When many people will go into depression, they will go into drinking or taking drugs. But no, don't do that. Don't do that. Speak to someone. Talk about your issues, and somebody's there always to help and support you in any manner.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nina. So, Madam Rotkang, thank you so much for joining us and also dropping your comment. So, as we begin to wrap up, Dr. Nina, what are your plans for the year? I was going to also ask you for whether you believe in New Year resolutions. What are your plans for the new year? I've never had any New Year resolution, because I feel that people sometimes put themselves under pressure. You find people who claim or say their New Year resolutions, and a week after the year gets in, they start breaking all of the New Year resolutions that they've made pledges to keep. So I just take one day at a time, and I'm thankful and hopeful to God to lead as He directs. So, what are we expecting from Dr. Nina this year? Do you have projects? Do you want to work in Africa? Would you give more to charity and all of that? What should we be expecting from Dr. Nina?
Well, I always give charity, even as you know, under COVID-19, I raised funds and sent laptop to Nigeria. You know that. Despite I was sick, and the whole world was locked down. I raised funds to send something, and even gave a party to the children, less fortunate children. But when it comes to resolutions, I don't make resolutions. I take day by day. I help everyone where help is needed, and I'm always there for everyone. So there is no resolution for me. My resolution is to impact more and more and help more and more, and give more inspiration to the youth, women and men, and just give my service to them, you know, and help them out as a humanitarian as well as a businesswoman. So I put everything together and give wherever my time is needed, I'll give it to them.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll come back to you to say your final words. Let me see if Blessing is still here so that we can get her final words, and then I'll come back to you, Dr. Nina. Blessing, if you are here, can we have your final words as we wrap up?
Yes, I'm right here. Um, I've never known this would be this impactful. Though I trust everything you bring to the table, Ambassador Ima. And I've learned something today. I've learned to take it one step at a time, learn to do my own lot and allow the rest for God to take place. So I'm very happy that I'm here, and meeting Dr. Nina has also improved my way of seeing things. I now see it differently. So it's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure being here. Thank you so much. And I pray others that are listening have also gotten something to go home with, because if they don't, then definitely I think sharing is allowed sometimes, but not here again, because this is quite impactful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Blessing. So, as we wrap up, who and who would you like to send your greetings to? Usually on the show, we give our guests 30 seconds or 1 minute to send their greetings to people who have been like their support mechanisms, their friends, their colleagues, people who have always been there for them, pushing through all the work that they do. So, who would you like to send your greetings to?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank you for always providing me a platform so that my voice can be heard. And also, I saw Mommy Neem. Yes, I saw Mama Neem on the comment section. She reached out to me in my trying times. She's been a great woman. So, Mommy, I see you, and I pray God blesses you. And also to all the viewers and listeners, I'm specially greeting you all and telling you that you're the best. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Dr. Nina, what are your last words to everyone?
Your platform that you have given. And thank you for supporting people in Nigeria as well as all over the world. And I just like to sort of say thank you to Dr. Kamad as well in Spumuda, as well as my other colleagues in Kashmir, Dr. Salim. They've been there for me as well. And my other colleagues have been there when I really needed them and the support of what I was going through. But it's great, and I just like to say to the people in Nigeria, Africa, all over the world, the women and youth, keep strength, keep meditating, have faith in God, and that is most important thing. Is having faith in God that is going to lead you through your trials and tribulations, and that helped me a lot, and it will help you. So yeah, blessings to everyone, and thank you so much. I'm here. If you need my blessings, if you ever need any support, please kindly via this channel contact me if you need me to sort of give you some advice if you get stuck. And thank you
Yeah.
so much, and blessings to
Okay.
everyone, and keep on rising, keep on inspiration, and don't worry about jealousy, hatred, because jealousy, hatred is not in our books. Our book is just focus on your work and inspiration. People who are jealous, they should sort of need to sort of work on their mental health. because to me that is a mental health. We shouldn't have jealousy or hatred against anyone. We should support each other to prosper and come as a team and help someone and be happy if somebody's succeeding and making money. Be happy for them, and help them make more money. That's how I see it, because I don't have jealousy or hatred. I prefer to see a people succeeding, making themselves something. That really gives me an inspiration. That gives me an honor that somebody has succeeded because of my help. So the jealousy and envy and hatred shouldn't be in our books, in our vein or DNA. That needs to be taken out. So yeah, keep on inspiration, keep on succeeding. The world is our oyster. That's all I can say. And God bless to everyone else. And thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nina. And thanks to everyone who joined us. This is the package of the show for today. I really want to thank everyone who joined us, to Karim Jackson all the way from Philippines Island, and to Madam Rotkan Queenie, also known as Mama Neem. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to our guest all the way from the United Kingdom, Dr. Nina Ritchie. She's a philanthropist, a businesswoman, an actor, film producer, and a whole lot. Thank you for joining us. And lastly, let me read a few messages from Mama Neem before we wrap up and end the show. She said, thanks for the food part. And she also said, thank you to Dr. Nina. And lastly, she said, good work, Blessing. So Blessing, Mama Neem is greeting you as well, and also to Dr. Nina. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Let's do it again soonest, God willing. Remember, the videos will still be here on YouTube, on Facebook. And yes, do like our YouTube page and click the notification button so that every time we come online to do our show, you'll be notified. And keep sharing the videos. The conversations is unending. So keep it going. I think I'll bring Dr. Nina again. We have so many. It's always impactful anytime we talk with her. Time is never our friend. So I'll bring her again. Maybe I'll bring her this time with Mama Neem to talk about women issues, Dr. Nina, Barrister Rotkan is a barrister, and then she's a women's activist. And I hope to bring both of you soon to talk about issues affecting women and as it goes on to 2023. So I'll keep that in mind and we'll work out all of that. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari. Please remember to like all our social media handles on @Shagalinko TV, whether on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and all of that. It's @Shagalinko TV. Thank you all for watching. See you all and be better persons. God bless you all and bye-bye.